Well, good evening. Can you all smile a little bit, please? It doesn't cost much. Very good. So I'm going to talk about these two questions. You don't have to answer now, but just try to think about it. Who is the master? You or your mobile? You don't have to answer me. Just keep that at the back of your mind as we proceed with the presentation. Ready? You have your notebook and pen? Yes, if you like some point, make a note. Don't trust your memory, it's not so great. Okay, as a memory trainer, I know in half an hour, if you're sitting there listening, first 5 minutes you will forget by the time you reach your last 5 minutes. Okay? You recognize that? You are able to see the text from there? Yeah? Okay, good. Two simple questions. How many digital calories do you consume on a daily basis? We are very conscious of the number of calories we consume, right? Including the kids. So how many digital calories do you consume? And if I keep on having a lot of calories on a daily basis, what happens? If I keep on having high calorie diet, what happens? You'll grow fat, then you'll go obese, and then you'll get all sorts of lifestyle diseases. Now, what about digital calories? What is happening to our brain? What is happening to our mind? What is happening to our life itself? And do you agree that almost all of us are digitally overweight and some of us are digitally obese? Yes or no? Are you able to see the screen from here, or do you want to move this side? You're okay with that? Good. And do you think we should discuss about this? Yes or no? Yeah, because obesity is good or bad? Overweight is good or bad? Louder, please. Bad. So should we learn about it or not? Good. So what is the impact of these digital calories on our brain and on our thinking? Because there is absolutely no knowledge. There is a lot of ignorance about this area. And I'm glad I see lots of kids and parents and hopefully some teachers also in the audience. Can you feel your chair? Just feel it. You don't even have to touch it. Just feel it. You're able to feel it? So you're sitting there for the last 15 or 20 minutes or half an hour. As soon as I asked you to feel it, that touch you were able to experience. It became your experience. Yes or no? Can you listen to the hissing sound of the machines? So as soon as I asked you, I pulled your attention, it became your experience. Otherwise, you were not paying attention to that sound. Brain is a fantastic filter. And attention is its gate. What becomes our experience is dependent on what I pay attention to. So moment by moment, I am choosing what I want to experience by choosing what I want to pay attention to. That's why it said, wherever your attention goes, energy flows. And wherever energy flows, life grows. Positive or negative, in both ways. And who or what is impacting our attention? Who is impacting our attention? Now today I'm going to teach you a few things about our mind and also about our brain. Okay? Something that we have never been taught in school or college or in office. So first property of the brain is called brain switching penalty. Let me explain what it is. Suppose you are focused on doing a particular task, say writing a document, writing a program, or doing something else. You receive a phone call, you attend the phone call and you come back. Will you be able to regain your focus immediately or will it take some time? It will take some time. It's our experience, all of us. The reason is, every time I switch my attention from one task to the next, a portion of my mental energy is spent in performing this switch. This is called as attentional switch. And that penalty is what we call as brain switching penalty. Every time I switch my attention, a portion of my energy is lost in repaying the brain's switching penalty. That is how brain works. Ask yourself, how many times unnecessarily you are switching your attention on a daily basis, even on an hourly basis, unnecessarily. Zarurat hi nahi hai. And each time you are switching your attention, a portion of your energy is lost. How many of you have experienced sometimes when you keep switching between the tasks and meetings or calls, at the end of the day you feel exhausted, but nothing gets done? You see the reason now? Where did that energy go? In repaying that brain switching penalty. Now, how do I understand this? There is an easier way to understand. You want to cook some rice. So you put the rice in the cooker, okay? And switch on the gas stove. Every time you receive a notification, switch off the flame, switch off the gas stove. Attend to your notification, come back and switch on the gas stove. Will it take longer or shorter for the cooking to get complete? Longer or shorter? Clear? Longer. And sometimes food also gets spoiled. Yes or no? Because for the food to get cooked, you need continuous flame. Yes or no? Attention is that flame. Write down. Attention is that flame that helps me accomplish tasks in my life. Attention is that flame. Every time I switch my attention, what am I doing? I am switching off that flame. And that is why so much of frustration, that is why so much of reduction in our efficiency and effectiveness and productivity. How many of you feel your productivity has gone down after you started using mobiles? Yes, all of us, even kids, yes? This is the reason. Because continuously we are switching off the flame. And as managers, as teachers, we think that we can multitask. And some of the organizations encourage their team members to multitask. So today, through a simple game, we will try to test whether we can multitask or not. Ready? All of you have your notebook and pen? Very good. So what I want you to do is, pick up an empty page and draw 2 lines like this, so that your page gets divided into 3 parts. Easy? Just 2 lines. Draw 2 lines such that it gets divided into 3 parts. Okay? Now, listen to the instructions carefully. Attention, please. Okay? So, you have this first line, and I'm going to time this exercise. So, you're not going to start until I say start. You should not start until I say start. Okay, so now listen to the instruction. On top of this line, you will start writing, multitasking is worse than a lie. That is a sentence I want you to write, but not now. That's the sentence you should write. But how are you going to write? You will write the letter on top of the line and a number below the line. Like this. Letter on top of the line. You have the first line, letter on top of the line and number below the line. Letter on top of the line, number below the line. Letter on top of the line, number below the line. Clear? The process is clear? Okay? Now just give me a second. So I'm going to time this exercise. You understood the process? You have two lines. First line you pick up. First write letter on top of the line, number below the line. So doing, you will complete that whole sentence. Letter, number, letter, number. Yes, second line will be empty. Don't worry about it, we'll go there. Clear? Start. And shout out once you're done. Letter on top of the line, number below the line. Letter, number, letter, number. First you should write the letter on top of the line and the sentence is given there and then number below the line. Quick, quick. Letter on top of the line, number below the line. Once you're done, shout out. Done? That's good. Okay. So those who are done, you can check. Did you get 26, 27 letters? Because that's what you should get. You done? Very good. Everyone done? You got the 27 letters? Very good. Is there anyone else still doing? You need more time? Okay, no problem. Take your time. Letter on top of the line, number below the line. Done? Very good. We'll wait, it's okay. Done? Fantastic. So now you have the second line. Yes or no? This time what I want you to do is write the complete English sentence first. What are you going to do? Write the complete English sentence first, like this, and then write the numbers. Clear? Instructions are clear? Wait. Start. Write the complete English on top of the line first and then write the numbers. Shout out once you're done. Good. Done. Very good. Done. It's there. Very good. So complete the English first and then write the numbers next. Done? Done? Very good. Very good. Now compare your output and tell me whether you got the same output in both the cases or not. Yes? In both the cases it's the same output, yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Why no? Because that's what you are seeing. Is it any different in both the cases? The output is the same, right? That's what you did. You wrote the sentence on top of the line, number below the line. In the first case, you switched between letter and number. In the second case, you completed the letters first and numbers next. Output should be the same. If output is not the same, you are not paying attention. How many of you got the same output? Okay? Now question. Which one took longer? First one or second one? First one for all of us. The first person who said yes took 45 seconds for the first one. And the first person who said yes for the second one took 20 seconds. Which one was more difficult, first one or second one? In which one did you make at least one mistake, first one or second one? Now listen carefully. You generated exactly the same output in both the cases. In order to generate the same output, you took double the time, more than double the time. You felt stressed and you made mistakes and you claim that you can multitask. Where did that extra 25 seconds go, which is more than double the time? In switching. That is brain switching penalty. For such a simple task, that means a task that I need to take. Just give me a second. Funny that when I have to discuss about switching, I had to switch the batteries also. So that means a task that takes 20 seconds, when you keep on breaking your attention, how much time did it take? 45 seconds, more than double. So what does this show? What does this show? Multitasking is bad. You cannot do it because brain cannot do two tasks at the same time. What you are doing is switch tasking. What are you doing? Switch tasking. And every time you switch your attention, what penalty are you paying? Brain switching penalty. And you saw that it is increasing the time and energy that you take for you to do that task. So now you decide, you want to do one task at a time, like our grandmother used to say, or you want to do multitasking by wasting a lot of your time and energy. So if your boss asks you to do multitasking, make them play this game. Will you do that? Yeah. So that they will also understand human brain cannot multitask. And when we talk about attention and work, just reflect. You don't have to answer me. When you start your day's work, okay, is it reactive or is it proactive? Reactive means you receive an email, you receive a phone call, you receive a message, you start reacting to it, or your day is organized in a very planned manner, where you planned for it, you start doing it. Once in a while it gets disturbed, that's okay, but otherwise pretty much you know what you are doing. So what is your day's work? Reactive or proactive? Because all your life, all your day, if you are only reacting things, then you are only splitting your attention. You are not able to focus. Because one thing comes, you pay some attention, something else comes, you pay some other little more attention, something else comes, again you switch your attention. Not the right way for us to become more efficient. High quality work produced is a product of time spent and intensity of focus. If I spend 8 hours, but my focus is 25%, what is the effective time I am actually spending? 8 hours, 25%. How much? 2 hours? We all are familiar? We are spending 8 hours, but the effective work is only 2 hours worth of work. That means a task that can be completed in 2 hours, I am taking 8 hours and I am wasting 6 hours. Why? Because I am not focused. I am not paying attention. So if you want to become good in whatever you are doing, learn to safeguard your attention. Very important. Because the more you split your attention, what happens? What happens? The more brain switching penalty you are going to pay, more of your energy gets wasted. So brain switching penalty is one that we learned today. The second one we are going to learn, which is very important for all the people here, including the kids, is neuroplasticity, another beautiful property of the brain. What it means is, plasticity comes from the Greek word plastikos. That means that which is flexible. Neuroplasticity means ability of the brain to change its physical structure in response to our actions. Clear? That is neuroplasticity. Neuro means related to brain. Now let me explain by giving a simple example. This is the slice of your brain and these are neurons. This is before learning. Clear? Slice of our brain before learning something. And after you have learned, the same slice of brain, this is what it becomes. Same slice. Before learning, after learning. What is the difference? There are more connections and more neurons. Now here is where you need to very carefully listen to me. Every time I learn something new, the corresponding information is transferred into the brain in the form of neural circuits. What are those? Neural circuits. That is why initially, whenever I try to do a new task, is it easy or difficult? Difficult. When I keep repeating it, what happens? Easier and easier. The reason is, the more I repeat a task, the stronger the neural circuits. The stronger the neural circuits, the easier the task becomes. More I repeat, stronger the neural circuits, the longer I remember and easier the task becomes. So now you understand why you should repeat a task? Yes or no? Because every time you are repeating a task, what are you doing? You are strengthening the neural circuits. Every time you strengthen a neural circuit, you are making the task to become easier. Is that clear? Clear? This is the property of the brain. Anything that you repeat, brain makes it easier, whether it is positive or negative. Ask your brain to worry and it becomes better at worrying. Because that is what you keep repeating. So the worry circuit becomes stronger and stronger and you worrying becomes easier and easier. Ask your brain to concentrate, it becomes better at concentrating. We have that innate ability. That is the beauty of human brain. You repeat something, it makes it easier. Whether it is positive or negative, brain does exactly the same. Okay? And that's why I call brain as a wonderful Tatastu machine. You understand Tatastu? When elders bless us, they say Tatastu. So be it. So our brain is a Tatastu machine. You want to repeat something good, brain says Tatastu. Let it be easier. You want to repeat something negative, brain says Tatastu. Let it become easier. Every 5 minutes, you keep checking your mobile. and that is what you are repeating, then what does your brain say? Tathastu. You want to keep your mobile in silence mode every time you are studying, then what does your brain say? Tathastu. So you decide how you want to utilize the power of your brain. You want to use it for positive things or negative things, that is completely in your hands. Now, what is the impact of this neuroplasticity? The changes in physical structure of the brain and brain chemistry, that is what leads to addictions. You keep on repeating something, you lose control over it. That's how addictions are formed. The more you use mobile and social media, that is why the harder it gets to move away. See that? Because that is what brain is doing to you. नहीं 10 मिनट ही बाला भाई, 1 घंटे में 10 मिनट, 12 घंटे में multiply, and you keep on doing it day after day, week after week, year after year, and you see the number of times you repeat it. Now without your knowledge also you will keep pulling out. That is addiction. Because that is how we are misusing our brain's capacity, our brain's capability. Is this point clear to all of you? The more you repeat a task, the easier it becomes. You want to repeat that with me? The more I repeat a task, louder. The more I repeat a task, the easier it becomes. Positive or negative? So which ones will you start repeating now? Positive or negative? And all the digital gadgets, any digital gadget you take, all of these are addictive. Now what does this mean? You have a bicycle or a cricket bat or a football at home. Okay? For 1 month, if you did not use your bicycle or you did not use your football, will the football come and tell you, Bala, 1 महीना ही हो गया यार, थोड़ा सा खेलो ना, थोड़ा सा यूज करो ना? Does your football say that? Does your cricket bat say that? Does your bicycle say that? Doesn't say that clear? Sure? Does anyone have a special football which speaks to them? No, right? Any tool which is lying there to be used until we go and pick it up is called a tool. That is why it's called a tool, because I use it. Okay? But all these digital gadgets, they are not just lying there. वो हमें बुलाते हैं. Ting. किसी ने फोटो पोस्ट किया, देखना है? Somebody liked. You want to see it? So what are these digital gadgets doing? They are manipulating our attention. They are drawing our attention. That's why after a few days, if you don't check your Facebook, we are missing you. Where are you? Please come and check. So many people visited your profile. So many photos, so many likes. They are manipulating your attention. So, instead of just using the tool, we are getting manipulated by the tool. That's why from tools-based technology, we moved into addiction-based technology. If we are not careful, if we don't control our attention, the tool will control it. Interesting? That is why if you don't put your mobile in silence mode, it will never allow your mind to be in silence. This is the environment in which we are bringing up our kids. That means they are already in the midst of addiction-based technology, and on top of it, we are asking them to use it more and more. They will get addicted or not? That's what is happening. Now I'm going to show you a short clip. This is of South Korean teenagers who wear adult diapers. Who wear diapers so that they don't have to take a break while playing games. Because their brain is taken over. Because if they take a bathroom break, they will lose points. They don't want to lose points. So they wear diapers and sit there. And you're also going to meet a couple of US teenagers who were so addicted to surfing that they were playing games for 16 hours a day. How many? And they had to check themselves into an internet de-addiction center where there is no Wi-Fi. I'm going to show you those clips. In the past, we used to say, what are our needs? Roti, kapda और मकान. अभी क्या कहते हैं? रोटी, कपड़ा, मकान और वाईफाई. किसी के पास जाते हैं तो पानी भी नहीं पूछते हैं पहले. वाईफाई का पासवर्ड क्या है? वाईफाई का पासवर्ड क्या है? उसके बाद पानी आएगा. Take the mic to him. Umesh bhai. It's coming. The mic is coming. भैया वो switched on. It's on. Give it to him.
Yes, yes. Can I actually in every task, suppose I am an engineer, I want to do some work. So that if I use this suppose laptop, this is a digital gadget to solve so many my problems, suppose mathematical it is there, some design. So it will be towards addiction or because
if you're doing your work,
okay,
if you're doing your work,
okay,
work will never become addictive.
So
yes or no? For most of us. Most of the times.
So because without digital, gadget,
yes, if it is
we cannot survive in this world. Whether
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'll come to that. I'm not saying that you should throw baby with the bath water. There's a lot of bath water out there. There's a very little baby that we need to protect. As a brother very beautifully said in the introduction, we are talking about responsible digital usage. I'm not saying abandon all that and go back to jungles. Please don't misunderstand. Clear?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm going to show you this clip. Watch the clip.
It is not uncommon that in South Korea teenage video gamers put on diapers. This way they avoid losing points by going to the bathroom.
Tom, you do not need any further introduction. This was great.
My lowest point came at the beginning of this year. New Year's Eve, I had lost a job. I was losing my girlfriend. My family, my relations were very strained, and I tried to drink myself to death.
Suicide.
I was playing video games 16 hours a day, often drunk. I watched porn a lot, and I just had given up. I had no future. I had no will to live. I was just waiting for the timer to run out.
I was in my spring quarter in college, and I was doing nothing except sleeping about 6 hours a day and playing video games and absolutely not attending any of my classes, not doing any of my work, and lying to my parents about my progress. So it was a lot of lying, manipulation, isolation especially, which are all common things for addicts, but mine were pretty much sleep and, interact with my addiction.
Saw that? 16 hours a day. And this is because of the neuroplasticity that we learned. You repeat something, brain makes it easier, and you get addicted. I'm going to show you another short clip. This is of a 18-month-old kid. Kitne mahine? 18-month-old kid. His dad is an Indonesian laborer who is a smoker. Just for the heck of it, he taught smoking to his kid. 18 months, less than 2 months. Thanks to neuroplasticity, kid started smoking 40 cigarettes a day. Can you believe it?
A tourist attraction in its native Indonesia for all the wrong reasons. This toddler on the island of Sumatra famous for his nicotine addiction. Aldi Rizal started smoking when he was just 18 months old. Now he's hooked and on 40 a day. And don't think of denying him his fix. The toddler goes crazy, screaming, slamming his head on the floor, even getting sick if he doesn't get his 2 packs a day. His father Muhammad, who introduced him to smoking.
Now, we need to understand one very important thing about neuroplasticity. When you are young, we were able to grasp things much faster and learn things much easier. Yes or no? Because when we are young, brain is highly plastic. Neuroplasticity is very powerful. That's why neuroplasticity being powerful means the number of times I need to repeat a task to learn it is less. As I keep growing up, that number of times increases. That is why when I see parents giving their mobile to their kids, my heart bleeds. Literally. We give all sorts of silly reasons. And now they have 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 8-year-olds, they have Facebook and Insta accounts. And that's what they are surfing. Combine the addiction and the neuroplasticity and see the impact. How many of you have seen kids who don't want to eat without watching mobile? Now you know the reason. Because those are withdrawal symptoms. This is what is happening. That is why mobiles are poisonous for kids. This is the reason. And when they get addicted, they lose their ability to think. 3 months of continuous playing, 19-year-old kid, he got paralyzed waist down. Because every day he would come from college, after gets into the room, locks the room, 9 p.m. to 3 a.m., 6 hours non-stop PUBG. Before it was banned. That's why you see 2019. It got banned in only 2020. No eating, no sleeping. And next day morning he would wake up and then go to school as if nothing happened. And within 3 months, he got blood clots inside the brain and paralyzed waist down. That is the power of neuroplasticity. That's the power of addiction. See that? 13-year-old mobile addict plotted to kill his mom because mom took away the mobile. Because your ability to think goes out of the window. These are from newspapers, and I'm not kidding. I've taken these from the actual newspapers and newspaper reports. Now, if you don't give the mobile, see a 7-year-old kid, what his responses are. Because mobiles, they are acting, please listen carefully. Mobiles are acting on exactly the same brain circuits on which drugs act. They are acting exactly the same way drugs act. When you move away the mobile, that is why the withdrawal symptoms. Now watch the kid.
Right. You can't have your cell phone tonight. You can't have your cell phone tonight. You can't have your cell phone. You can't have your cell phone. Stop acting like that. Calm down. No cell phone, calm down. You want it taken away for 2 days? Do you want it gone for 2 days? Then stop. Calm down. No cell phone tonight. Calm down. See how you're acting because you can't have no cell phone? You should be playing with your toys instead and doing other things. Stop it. I know you want it, but you can't have it because you were bad tonight. Are you gonna stop? Are you gonna stop? Are you gonna stop? Then stop. No, you can have it tomorrow. If you're good, you can have it tomorrow. Stop. 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 You can have your phone tomorrow. You can't be thrown with phone withdrawal syndromes. Stop it. You're addicted to that phone and you gotta stop.
Stop recording me.
This is Lucas and his phone withdrawal. Stop it. Stop it. This is withdrawal from a cell phone from a 7-year-old. That's why cell phones are poisonous. Knock it off. Knock it off. Then sit down and be nice. Sit down and look how you're acting over a cell phone. Knock it off. Are you gonna stop? Then calm down and stop. Calm down and stop. Stop. Calm down and stop. Enough now. Do you hear me? Are you done? Are you done? Talk nice. That's what our talk.
Now ask those two questions which we started off in the beginning. Who is the boss? You or your mobile? And ask yourself what kind of mobile withdrawal symptoms you yourself go through. It's an established fact. For many people, if they don't have their mobile on their chest, they can't sleep. They have created dummy iPhone boxes so that they can put that box, feel that mobile is there, and then fall asleep. If that is not there, they won't get sleep. Yes. And remember, a constantly stimulated brain is a weak and stressed brain. Because we are constantly stimulating it. If I continuously keep running my scooter or car drrr, 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 without any stop, what happens to it? It'll get spoiled or not? That's what is happening. Because I'm continuously stimulating it. And all of us totally misunderstand the difference between relaxation and stimulation. 2 घंटा काम कर लिया, यार 10 मिनट व्हाट्सएप देख लेते हैं, रिलैक्स हो जाएंगे. 2 वीडियो इंस्टा शॉर्ट्स देख लेते हैं, रिलैक्स हो जाएंगे. That is not relaxation. Because relaxation means think less, think slow. Yes, write down and reflect. Relaxation means think less, think slow. And stimulation means think different. You're still thinking. After 2 hours of surfing Facebook or Insta Shorts or YouTube, do you feel energized? Maza aa gaya yaar. Or do you feel exhausted? Exhausted or not? This is the reason. Because we are stimulating our mind, we are stimulating our brain, thinking that we are relaxing. We are not relaxing. Write this principle. If there is a screen involved, then it is stimulation. It is not relaxation. S and S. Wherever there is a screen, it is called stimulation. It is not relaxation. Relaxation means no screens. meet with people, walk in the nature, play some music, do some painting, do some carpentry, do some knitting, observe the kids in the garden, play some music. This is relaxation, because this is think slow, think less. Any screen that is involved is not relaxation. So don't get fooled. Every time you pick up a screen for relaxation, what are you doing? What are you doing? You are stimulating your brain. And what did we learn? A stimulated brain is a weak brain. So I want to tell all the kids and everybody here, the more you stimulate your brain, the weaker it becomes. The weaker your brain, the more worse your performance. Do you want that? Do you want your brain to shrink? What's your name? Vivan? What's his name? Abhimanyu? Very good. So Vivan and Abhimanyu, do you want your brain to shrink?
No.
Sure? Your name? Abhishek. Vishwajit, fantastic. Vaibhav. So Abhishek, Vishwajit and Vaibhav, do you want your brain to shrink? No. Do you want your brain to shrink? Anyone in the audience who wants their brain to shrink? Then stop using mobile. Because that is what is stimulating and that is what is shrinking your brain. You should not cry going to your parents, ye de do, wo de do, abhi school se aa gaya na, homework kar liya na 1 ghante ke liye. Now you see what you're doing? Now you see the addiction? So be very, very careful. Now why is this distraction not good? Let me demonstrate. This is a glass. Okay? Now, if I keep doing this to the glass, will I be able to hold any water? Glass. I should be able to hold water, right? But I'll keep doing this. Can I hold any water? This can be golden glass, but if I keep shaking it, is it of any use? For the glass to be used, it needs to be stable. Yes or no? Clear? It needs to be stable. The hand is my mind. The glass is my brain. The more I stimulate my mind, the more I am getting distracted, the more my brain is getting disturbed. Then will I be able to learn anything? Because for me, for my brain to learn something, it needs to be stable. But if I keep getting distracted, am I learning? This is why our efficiency and effectiveness came down after we started using mobiles. All of you raised their hands. Remember, this is the reason. Learn to stabilize your mind if you want to utilize your brain. Write that down. Stabilize your mind to utilize your brain. Stabilize your mind to utilize your brain. How many of you want to waste your brain's capacity? Waste it. How many of you want to use your brain? What is the condition? And if you want to stabilize your mind, what is the condition? Don't get distracted. And if you don't want to get distracted, don't divide your attention. Don't look at your mobile when you are studying. Clear? And there is a cost to this distraction. We don't feel good after hours of surfing, yes or no? You feel frustrated, exhausted, empty, yes or no? That decreased sense of well-being is because of that. It impairs our decision-making capability. We can't decide. Have we all observed this or not? Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder among kids. Doctors, that is why they say you can get 70% reduction in these symptoms only by removing the screens from front of the kids. We are doing this in the school, interestingly. You as parents, all of your parents, you must tell the teachers and the schools to go back to physical books and not screens. And I'm going to share with you why learning from screen is not going to increase your IQ. In spite of all those stupid advertisement by some fellow who thinks he knows education rather than dancing around the trees. I won't take names, you know who. Screen education does not work. Go back to books. It increases chances of getting depressed, it increases stress hormones, and it reduces our lifespan. Remember that. Jaldi marna hai, to zyada mobile use karo. That is a royal road to death, literally. You choose. And I'm very serious. Because these are the practical consequences of continuous mobile usage. Ask yourself, do we need to use our mobile for 8 to 10 hours a day? Are you going to do transaction every single minute? Are you going to order food every single minute? Are you going to respond or have a call for 6 hours, for 10 hours a day? Then what are we doing? किस कुत्ते की दुम कितनी टेढ़ी है ये जानने के लिए हमें टाइम वेस्ट करना है क्या? कौन किसके साथ भाग गया, कौन किसके साथ डेटिंग कर रहा है, किसका गाड़ी कितनी बड़ी है, कौन सा फोटोज किसने पोस्ट किया? Do we need all that? At this cost? Ask yourself. And now we see educators and teachers talking about screens are inevitable, we need to use computers, laptops. Bala, what are you saying? This is what the school asks. Now I'm going to give you what the research talks about. Any time we use any gadget, there is a conditioning of the brain associated with it. When you look at bed, do you feel like dancing or sleeping? When you go into your puja room, do you feel like sleeping or praying? Because every place, every gadget has a association inside our brain based on what we use that for. Okay? And this digital mindset is when reading is an approach to written materials that reflects the affordances of digital devices. What are those? Ease of skimming and scanning. In any digital device, it becomes very easy to skim and scan. Okay, that is shallow reading. You are focusing on information, not on concepts. You just search, cut and paste, and you got it. That's what we do surfing for, right? You don't sit and study that. You can keep switching. And you can read very fast because you're just skimming. You're not going slow. And most of the times in our brain, we associated our mobile with WhatsApp, YouTube, Insta, messages, calls. Yes or no? Never did we associate our mobile with study. Study means, what comes to your mind? As soon as they say study, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Physical book. Now, that's the mapping that brain has. And when you do only digital reading, why it does not work is because of this digital mindset. Mobile or any of these digital gadgets, I don't associate them with reading. I don't associate them with learning. Because when I approach digital devices, first thing that comes to my mind, because that is what I use it for. That's what got hardwired. I tend to switch tasks. Because I open multiple tabs. Yes or no? Multiple apps, not just one. Diminished concentration. Reduced use of annotation. Annotation means when you write, when you read a book, you can actually write your notes in the sidelines or you can underline it. But you can't do that when you're doing digital stuff, most of the devices. Less frequent reviewing of what has been read, heard or viewed. How many times, ask yourself and give me an honest answer. How many times did you watch the same video 3 times? But we read the same lesson 3 times in the book, right? See the difference? This is digital mindset. More mind wandering when listening to audio than when reading from a book. Yes or no? That is why audiobooks don't work. Because you are distracted. When you are traveling in your car, you think that you can utilize the time and you can listen. When you are walking, you can listen. But we are not able to focus. That is not utilization. A portion of it you will get the benefit. That's always there. But the actual benefit you need to get, the actual absorption of the information cannot happen when you are using only digital devices.
Hello. So, sir, sometimes, we have an app for audiobooks which gives us summary or gist. So, which is helpful if we don't have a time to read the complete book. We will be having a, summary for the apps if we have apps. So, will it be okay or,
Summary, you are using that for you to know whether you want to read the book or not. Okay. Just for a few minutes. Mm-hmm. Correct?
Correct.
Here we are talking about listening to the whole book. There's a difference?
Yes. Getting.
This is where we should start understanding what's called as biliteracy model, where we combine both print and digital, knowing fully well when should I read from my books, when should I go back to my screens. Both are important. We are not throwing the baby with the bathwater. No, because each one of them has their capabilities, but we need to understand which one to use when.
Okay. Daily I commute to office 1 hour in the morning in my shuttle, and while coming 1 hour in my shuttle. So 2 hours daily I commute without any complaining to any traffic, any government, any police, any PMC, and I watch YouTube. So how could you guide me on that?
You're watching YouTube, yes, not while driving but sitting behind.
Yes.
I'm just confirming.
That's what I said. I'm in shuttle.
Yeah. So, see, you can check for yourself. From tomorrow onwards, try this, sir. Sit back, reflect, plan your day for some time in the morning, in the evening, and still watch your YouTube. I'm not saying you should stop. But check what kind of content are you consuming from that YouTube. Is it disturbing content or is it empowering content? And take some time out, do some deep breathing, do some meditation, plan your day. So that when you go, your work becomes not reactive but proactive. In the evening when you are coming back, instead of pulling your mobile, review your day. Yes or no? And now you are maximizing. I'm not saying you should not watch, but do not misunderstand that stimulation and relaxation. Closing your eyes and then sleeping for a few minutes and taking that power nap is more powerful than watching some relaxation videos on YouTube.
I had a question. Like, how about when we are watching this Brahma Kumari videos on YouTube?
Very audios. Good question. There is a very interesting saying in our culture, Ati Sarvatra Varjayet. You understand that? Ati Sarvatra Varjayet. Ati means too much. Sarvatra means in any field, including Brahma Kumari's video, including Shivani Ben's video. I'm speaking on record. If it is too much, it's not good. Okay? Anything good, which, if it is too much, turns into bad. That is why 2 hours of continuous watching of motivational videos, will it motivate you or exhaust you? I rest my case. So both digital and print, identify your reason for reading. Why do you want to read? Is it just for skimming purpose or is it for learning? If it is learning, go to the book. What's your goal? Put in the effort to make reading that medium work. How Which medium you are choosing for what purpose? Decide that first. Actively engage with what you are reading. Read at the pace the text warrants, because sometimes we have to read the text back and forth a few times for us to understand, yes or no. And that will not happen on an audiobook. That will not happen on a video. As easily it happens in a book. Be realistic about your ability to read success carefully and take stock of your reading environment. Reduce on-screen distractions. Even if you are trying to skim, remove all the other apps. Focus only on one thing that you have. Switch off all your notifications. Because distractions are chief wreckers of our attention. Know when it is best to block online activity. No internet. Even if you are using a screen. For whatever reason. Keep your mobile away. Learn to accommodate when you can't choose the reading medium. Now that's where she has summarized this research very beautifully. So now this should remove any questions or doubts you have about whether mobiles, gadgets, should my kid read from those or from the books. And I'll tell you one very important thing. When you are reading from a book, you will not have an app or a notification pop up from the book. Will it pop up? It's just a book, one page after the other. Vishwajit, will it pop up, a notification pop up? Will you click that and then you can go somewhere else when you are reading a book? When you open a physics notebook, will a biology textbook come up and say, come and watch me? No, right? You are with the physics textbook, so you will stay with the physics textbook. So automatically, without our effort, we are focusing when we read from the books. I'll give you a specific example. A few months ago, I was in Udaipur. I was addressing the medical college students. And the professor there, who's a good friend of mine, she gave me a very interesting and disturbing observation. Just a couple of months ago, 150 of their MBBS students wrote their MD exam. MD entrance, post-graduation entrance. You know how many people qualified? Can you guess? 150 people, how many people qualified? One person. That was disturbing. Now the interesting part. She was the only one who read from physical books. Rest everybody were reading only from the screens. Now go figure. Because it becomes very easy to get distracted. And there is this book, it should be available on Amazon. All the parents, all the teachers, please make time and read this book. It's called Screen Schooled. What's the name of the book? Screen Schooled. Write down. Written by 2 American teachers who have been teaching the American kids using all these iPads and this pad and that pad, using digital medium, throwing away the physical textbook. And they tell us, after dozen years of their experience, IQs did not increase. Distraction increased. Anxiety increased. Focus decreased. Because they are always opening 3 or 4 apps. They were not listening to the teacher. If you have a book, either you see in the book or you sleep. Yes or no? But if you have an app, if you have a pad, from this app to that app to that app to that app, they always had at a minimum 4 apps open. So screens don't work for kids. And I'm willing to have a debate and a conversation with anybody and everybody. Go back to books. Go back to books. And don't come back with all sorts of silly reasons for me. They just don't work, period. Now, if you still want to do it, it's your choice. But I gave you all the science behind it. So summary, hyperactivity, inattention, depression, and multitasking. This is what is the result of this new technology. There's a very clear relationship. The more you use this new technology, the higher is the probability of you becoming mentally diseased. The more the digital devices proliferate, the more is this world hurtling towards becoming an open mental hospital. What is it becoming? Open mental hospital. That's what we are doing to ourselves. Social media. The more time you spend on Facebook, the more chances of you getting depressed. It's interesting, this research was commissioned by Facebook itself. And the VP, when he saw these results, one of them who was designing their advertising campaigns, he resigned. So disturbing. And decreased attention span leading to blue tick anxiety. Does anyone know what is blue tick anxiety? I sent the message. ये blue क्यों नहीं हुआ है? I know he's watching. अरे ये blue हो गया है, 10 सेकंड हो गया, आंसर क्यों नहीं देता है? आंसर क्यों नहीं देता है? That is blue tick anxiety. Got it? And if you use anything other than WhatsApp like Signal and others, that is black tick anxiety. Increased social media usage linked with lower self-esteem because of comparison. And it's increased because of the social media usage, it is leading to higher rates of depression. It's leading to higher rates of depression and suicide. Here are the stats for you. 2008, that is when social media was available on mobile. And see the US suicide rates among girls aged 15 to 19, girls aged 10 to 14. See the increase? Non-fatal self-harm, because they don't know how to focus, so they start hurting themselves. These are signs of depression, classic cases. And see the increase? And impact on your body. Every single organ is getting impacted with these radiation. Every single organ. Now we go under the blanket and then switch on our mobile. All the lights off, and then we think everything is okay, go under the blanket and then start surfing. Now what is that doing? As it starts getting dark outside like now, brain starts releasing a sleep hormone called melatonin, which is what relaxes us so that we can sleep. But if you keep watching the screen, the blue light from the screen, it tricks your brain and says, abhi raat hui nahi hai, ऐश करो. So melatonin secretion gets delayed and we won't fall asleep easily. How many of you are sleeping late after you started using mobiles? Yes, almost all of us. Because the sleeping time started becoming later and later because melatonin secretion is getting later and later. And that can lead to a lot of issues, including brain health issues. And that is impacting our sleep big time. When we don't sleep properly, this is what happens to your body. I'm sorry, you're not able to see, but you can see that every single organ is getting impacted. Okay? Whether it is your heart, whether it is your lungs, whether it is your liver, your stomach, your intestine, every single, your joints, every single area of your body is getting adversely impacted if you do not sleep enough. So sleep is essential. 7 to 8 hours of proper sleep is required for all of us. And if you are kids, it's a little more. Some simple tips to sleep well. Maintain regularity. Sleep and wake up at same time every day, weekend or weekday, because that's important. Stay away from screen at least for an hour before you sleep and reduce the amount of lighting in evenings. Keep the room cool, about 20 or 21 degrees or even 23 degrees. Make it radiation free. No alcohol, exercise, smoking or chai or coffee 4 hours before you sleep, because all of them disturb your sleep. They won't allow you to sleep. Don't stay in the bed awake. Remember the neuroassociative conditioning, because a bed is meant for sleeping. But if you stay awake, your brain starts creating a wrong association. And then it becomes very difficult for you to sleep on that bed. Make the room completely dark. Use eye blinds so that you can sleep more easily. Meditate for a few minutes before you sleep so that your sleep quality improves. And this is also causing, these digital gadgets are also causing lots of impact on our human connections, because on an average nowadays kids spend 7 hours daily on the gadgets. Less play, less human interactions. And what is that doing? It is damaging our emotional health. So death rates are 3 times higher among socially isolated people who don't meet people enough, who don't interact, who don't develop those person-to-person relationships. And there's a physical reason behind it. Because in-person contact, that smile, that conversation, okay, that appreciation on the other person's face, that helps my brain release dopamine and serotonin, 2 important hormones that work on my attention, my pleasure, and that reduce on my fear and worry. This virtual relationships is leading to this social isolation. And that's very, very dangerous. Loneliness is as dangerous as smoking, as dangerous as drinking. That is why get your kids out of their rooms, send them to the playground, let them play with the other kids, not virtually, physically. Physically. Do not exercise too late in the evenings. Avoid large meals, no midnight biryani. This is a big fad in Hyderabad. At 3 a.m. I have seen, when I was returning from abroad and I was going home, at 3 a.m. I saw the family walking into the hotel. What sorts of time is that? My grandmother, if I tried to eat after 9 p.m., you know what she used to say? You know what she used to say? ये राक्षसों का time है. You remember your grandparents saying that? Demons eat at night, not humans. There's a science behind it. This is the reason. Relax before bed. Do not overstimulate your brain. No binge watching. I want to ask you a simple question. Okay? Now, your withdrawal symptom you can test yourself. ठीक है? दिल धड़कती है and पूछने वाला हूँ. Shall I ask? After seeing all this, how many of you are willing to cancel your OTT subscription today? Yeah, see, everybody started laughing. Dil dhadakti hai na? Now that is the power of addiction. I rest my case. Take a hot bath before bed, have a good sleeping environment, no clutter, have right sunlight exposure. Okay? Simple tips for you to be able to sleep well. And remember, yes. Procrastination. Yeah, because these are one of the reasons. If you sit yourself and then say, I have to do this work, remind yourself, sit there and do it. Force yourself to do it. You won't feel good.
Yes, so sir, I am in IT. So we have a sprint for 15 days. Okay, and we have a deadline. So I have been deciding, I mean, 3 tasks, for that particular sprint. I know I have a time. So what I am doing right now, I relax for first 5 to 6 days. I procrastinate the things. And the last, when I reach the deadline, I start the task. And it affects, again, my productivity.
Now you know that.
Yes, I
so
almost.
You start that positive self-talk right at the beginning of the sprint. What's your name?
Kumar.
So you speak with yourself.
Okay.
Kumar, there's no point in procrastinating. तुमको ही करना है.
Of course.
There's nobody else who's going to come and do. Why don't you finish it earlier rather than becoming stressed for later? I need to speak with myself. I should do that positive self-talk. Otherwise, I will continue to procrastinate.
Correct.
Because there are no extra benefits.
Yes, thank you.
And remember, distraction is slow destruction. And your smartphone has become your hypodermic needle. That is what drug addicts use whenever they want to inject drug. And that's what we are doing. So how digital downtime helps brain? Yes.
Taking a hot bath, but when we wake up at morning, so like we wash our face so we don't feel sleepy. So why should we take a hot bath before sleeping?
Yeah, before you sleep also, if you take hot bath, what happens is all your body relaxes. Okay, the skin also relaxes. When you are relaxed, you will be able to sleep better. Okay, that's why a hot bath is encouraged before sleep.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
Thank you. Thank
Good.
you.
So how this digital downtime helps your brain? How many of you have vehicles or you don't have vehicles? All of you have your vehicles? Car, scooter, any of that? Do you give it for servicing? Yes or no? If you don't give it for servicing, what happens? What happens? It goes down, right? Performance. Now, your brain, your mind, are you giving it any downtime? Ask yourself. Does that not need downtime? So what does research say? Naps, meditation, nature walks, all these mental breaks, they increase productivity, they replenish attention, they solidify memories, they encourage creativity. That's why we need to have those spaces of reflection, those spaces to sit and relax. Relaxation means not watching YouTube. Don't go back there. Not watching Insta. What is that called? Stimulation. That is not relaxation. Keep your mobile aside, close your laptop, just take a stroll. And that downtime is extremely important for our brain health. If you want to increase your decision making, you want to increase your productivity, you want to increase your creativity, that downtime is needed. If you continuously keep driving your car without stopping the engine, what will happen? It'll break down, right? And that's what is happening to our brains. That's what is happening to our minds. Yes.
As you mentioned that to watch motivational videos is okay, or for some time we can watch. So is there any research happened that how much time we can watch motivational video?
It's individual.
So that it will not harm our mental
It's
health?
individual.
Okay.
For some, just one video is enough.
Okay.
For some, two. So you need to check for yourself what is the purpose of watching those.
Okay.
Because you don't have anything else you are doing, or you indeed want to get motivated. And my suggestion would be at the most 10 or 5 or 10 minutes. Not more than that.
All right, thank you.
Okay? Like our physical hygiene, which we are taught as kids, wash your hands. Yes or no, before you eat. Don't wear soiled clothes. Today we have digital hygiene. Okay, the first one, do not keep your mobile on the dining table. Very, very, very bad habit. Because when was the last time you disinfected your mobile? Now, how did I come to this point? Because I have a good friend of mine who is a gastroenterologist. 10 years ago, he came to me and said, Bala, I don't understand where all these IT folks who are coming to me are complaining about stomach infections. And I can't see anything specific. Then it struck him that these are the fellows who are keeping their mobiles on the dining table, who are not washing their hands after touching their mobile and eating with the same hand. And that is what is causing infection. So, if you are eating, then do not touch your mobile. If you have to touch your mobile, go wash your hands and then come back to eat. Do not touch your mobile and keep it on the dining table. Very, very bad habit. Yes.
That is there any particular thing that why we don't have to eat while suppose watching TV or our mobile phones kept on the table?
Excellent question. You got the question? The reason is very simple. When I eat with attention, stomach produces enough digestive juices so that the eaten food can be digested. When I watch screens, I am distracted. When I am distracted, all my energy is going elsewhere instead of digesting the food. That's why have you heard from your grandmother that when you are eating, just eat. And that is why we create in our culture so beautifully, Annam Parabrahma Swarupam. We say that or not? Food is equal to God. We need to respect. If you are not eating without any disturbance, that means you are respecting. But if you are getting distracted, you are not respecting your food. So they created this beautiful point so that we can focus while eating and not on something else. Very good question.
Excuse me. I also have something to add to it, which I came across on Instagram actually. There is a pediatric page. So I was worried that my kid is not eating enough. But then I found one pediatric doctor saying that it's not, you are just worried because once he used to eat 2 chapatis, now he is eating 1. But why? Because his age has grown. When he was developing, he needed more food. But if he's not complaining or feeling tired, then definitely he doesn't need so.
Correct.
But what happens when we give them the screen time, like while watching TV, you eat, then there is no connection between brain and mouth that, okay, only if I am hungry, then I should eat. It is like just mechanical work.
Correct.
The food goes to the mouth, they
yes,
eat it, and it
yes.
is unnecessary eating.
Absolutely. Very good. So do not carry your mobile into the bathroom. Simple ones. Yeah, this is what most people do. I'm not kidding. I'm just calling those things out. Very bad habit. Mobile should be kept at least 10 feet away from you while you are sleeping. Because the radiation is very, very bad. Ideally, you should switch it off. And trust me, we are not so important. As much as we think we are not so important. Nobody will miss us. कोई मिस करेगा तो कोई मिस नहीं करेगा. चिंता मत करो. For last 12 years since I've been using mobile, I switch off my mobile at 10 p.m. And I haven't missed a single important call. You won't. Nobody will bother about you. One of my colleagues in the office, he was in Spiti Valley trekking, okay, in Himalayas. For 1 week, there was no connectivity. After the week, he came down to the valley and desperately checked, कितने calls आए होंगे, कितने messages आए होंगे, कितने लोग miss किए होंगे. He got exactly 3 calls. Every alternate day. All the 3 calls from his mom. And nowadays, you know, after how many rings the other fellow cut the call, right? So the first call was after 6 rings, second call after 4 rings, third call after 2 rings. He got so irritated, he said, damn it, कोई मुझे मिस ही नहीं करता है. किसी का परवाह ही नहीं है, मैं जिंदा हूँ या मर गया हूँ. That is when he realized that he should not take the stupid mobile to wherever he goes, thinking that somebody will miss him. From then on, he keeps the mobile at home whenever he goes to gym. Whenever there is an important meeting, he leaves the mobile at his desk and he's happy. Because painfully he realized, nobody misses me. And it's the same thing with us. You can try it. Do not use your mobile as alarm clock. Very bad habit. Buy a simple alarm clock without snooze. It hardly costs 210 rupees. Orpat alarm clock. Okay? Do not touch your mobile at least for an hour after you wake up, 2 hours before you sleep. You can check your mobile withdrawal symptoms by trying to do this tonight. And I know for almost all of us, सुबह का शुरू मोबाइल देवी का दर्शन से होता है. आंख खुलने से पहले ही मोबाइल देवी का दर्शन चाहिए और आंख बंद करने से पहले भी मोबाइल देवी का दर्शन करके सो जाते हैं. सो टुडे यू राइट दिस डाउन. वो मोबाइल देवी नहीं है, राक्षसी है. इसलिए हमारी कहानियों में क्या है, मोहिनी का रूप दिखाया है ना, वो है भस्मासुर, लेकिन लिया किसका रूप. हाँ. सो दिस इज द मॉडर्न इक्विवेलेंट ऑफ दैट भस्मासुर. दिस इज द मॉडर्न मोहिनी. ओके, वो डिजिटल देवी नहीं है, राक्षसी है. रिमेंबर दैट. सो स्टे अवे फ्रॉम हर और हिम. Keep mobiles away from your kids. They don't need them. They don't need them. And simple ways to unplug. If you are powerful enough, अगर आप में इतना डिजिटल दम है, तो switch to this. Yeah, you can clap. I don't mind. If that is going to motivate you. Yes, some of my team members actually did that. And they feel really peaceful. No notifications, no nonsense. If they need, their friends will call them. Very simple. Constantly no distraction. Switch off notifications. At least this you can do. Yes or no? Can you do it now? All notifications switched off. You don't need any of them. Can you do it now? Switch off all notifications. You don't need any of them. But don't switch it on tomorrow again or after going home or after the session. Off means off. Make your bedroom radiation free. Another question I want to ask you. How many of you can follow this? Screen free breakfast, lunch and dinner from today onwards. No screens. Remember, no screens. You have that at home? Fantastic. Good for you. I'll give you a very touching example. Okay? One of my colleagues, he heard this. He started implementing it at home. 7-year-old daughter. Fantastic. The only person who got irritated was his wife, because instead of 30 minutes, now they are taking 60 minutes to eat, which is okay, because there's a lot to discuss. So after a few days, he went to drop his kid at the Garba training. You know, he's from Gujarat. So his daughter's friend, she came running and she said, "Uncle, I want to thank you." I'll give you the mic. And he said, "Why do you want to thank me? I didn't do anything." She said, "Uncle, I am your daughter's friend. She is my classmate. So Shilpa told me that while eating, you don't watch screens, you don't watch television, and you don't watch mobile, and you have a conversation. So I went to my dad and asked him, can he also do that?" My dad agreed, and now we both spend a lot of time together, and there's a lot for me to share with my dad. And I want to thank you for that. So beautiful. Because that's your family time. That's not screen time.
That we have this thing like earlier I used to like watch all these TV things while eating, but now every like Saturday Sunday we do like no tech time day. For the full day there is nothing, everything off, tab is phones are on side, full family will when there's eating, my dadi adu, my mother and father will eat together.
Talia. Excellent. That's going to come. I'm going to show that also. Very good. I'm glad you're doing it. So please do this for the sake of your loved ones. Ask yourself, do you love your family members or do you love your mobile? You don't have to answer me. If you love your family members, no screens, no television, no mobile, because that's purely family time. Avoid using mobile for all non-essential activities. Every time your hand goes towards your mobile, start asking, "Zaruri hai?" Just that question, "Zaruri hai?" There is no shurpur because you switched off your notifications. There is no call. Then why will your hand go towards your mobile? No need, right? And fasting has anti-cancer properties. Write that down. It's good for health. 24 hours, full day. And try this. Initially, you will feel very uncomfortable. क्या बात करना है? Okay, your hand will keep going towards your mobile. Resist it, and after a couple of hours, you will start enjoying each other's company. Have a conversation, play a game, cook together inside the kitchen, go out for a walk, no mobiles. हाँ, सारी दुनिया को बता दो आप, अपने सारे hundreds of WhatsApp groups में डाल दो, कल 24 hours तक मैं I am not reachable, oh I am not be there, we are doing fasting, सबको बता दो दुनिया में. Nobody will miss it, don't worry, nobody will even respond, but give it a shot. And it is a very, very powerful way to reconnect with the family. Uninstall all social media apps. Now the two questions. Who is the boss? You or your mobile? Remember I told you, keep that in the back of your mind. If you can't uninstall, use a really long password and uncheck, keep me logged in checkbox. And the password should be, I will not use my Facebook for more than 10 minutes. With a few special characters thrown in. And every time you want to bring it up, you have to type this password. Because keep me signed in is unchecked. And I helped many of my colleagues come out of the social media addiction through this. You know the reason? I'll give you the main neurological reason behind it. Any time I get an urge to do something, especially when I'm addicted, the urge is highest for the first 20 seconds. How many seconds? 20 seconds. If I can overcome that urge, then it is easy for me to divert. And when you have this kind of a long password type करने में ही चले जाता है 20 seconds. And then you do it a couple of mistakes and you say, damn it, chalo, दूसरा कुछ कर देते हैं. Because that urge to check is gone now. And that is how you overcome addiction. No late night binge watching. Make a promise to yourself and to your kids. And at Brahma Kumaris, we have a very beautiful principle. Principle is very simple. आप भी लिखो and try to follow it. 10 तो करो बस. What is the principle? 10 तो करो बस. All off. Because that's the time to go back to bed. अपने मोबाइल के प्रति रहम दिल मत बनो. Even if it is iPhone 14s, or I don't know the latest. Is it 15s or 14s? Or Ultra Pro Max? I don't know, whatever that is. So be merciless. Okay? बेरहम बनो अपने मोबाइल के प्रति. क्या बनना है? हाँ. Because that बेरहमी is actually good. And if you want to become, if you like this presentation and you want to share this with more of your classmates, more of your family members, you can visit this website. You have this talk is already uploaded. There's a wonderful slide deck that you can download. You can watch it and show it to many people. Summary: distraction is slow. We will send you the URL in the message. Because you have registered, we have your number. And you can check your mobile addiction by going to this website. There is a mobile addiction assessment here. So you will know how addicted you are to your mobile. Summary: distraction is slow destruction. Remember, you are the master of your mind and you are the master of your mobile. Stabilize your mind to utilize your brain. And the last one, if you want to become useful, then you should use your mobile less. If you use your mobile full, then you will become useless. Your choice. Okay? Now, I want to invite Tanishka. If you are ready, we are going to take a pledge. Are you ready? So this is our digital pledge. And she is going to walk us through and she'll explain what she has been doing and how she is inspired. So give your introduction.
Hello. Sir, you told about the brain stimulation and brain relaxation. Okay. Suppose there is a story, if I read it in the books, and other way I watch the movie in the theater, not on the mobile, based on the same story, in which version I will feel more relaxed. Suppose I like comedy movies. If I read comedy, I may not enjoy that much. If I watch the movie in that way, I will be more enjoyed. I will feel more relaxed. So, comments on this.
Absolutely.
Yes,
But
sir.
if you continuously keep watching comedy movies, what will happen? Life will
Yeah,
become a
that
tragedy.
will be, sir. But I feel better.
That's
if I
fine.
read
I'm
the-
not saying, that's why I'm not saying you should not watch.
this
That's
is a
why I said
relaxation.
responsible usage.
Okay.
Responsible usage. Once in a while you want to watch, watch.
Okay.
But if I get addicted to watching comedy movies, then my life will very soon become itself a tragedy or a comedy.
Sir, what are the ADHD symptoms? Which will ADHD symptoms?
I'll connect with you after the session.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. Good.
Thank you, Bala Bhai, for giving me this opportunity. My name is Tanishka and I study in 7th standard. So, a few years ago, I attended Bala Bhai's session on digital wellness. And from then on, my parents started following these practices, small practices. And I noticed them following these practices religiously. And I got inspired to follow them from my parents. So, I think if parents start following these practices, kids will also we all will get motivated to follow them. Thank you. Yes. So, now we have attended Bala Bhai's session. Do you all think that to live a digitally healthy life, we need to start by following small practices? Great. So if you all agree with me, I request you all to stand up and repeat after me. We, the digitally healthy citizens, solemnly state that we will use the technology and our gadgets sensibly and intentionally. We will not touch our gadgets while having food and at least 2 hours before going to bed and an hour before an hour after waking up. Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
So let's end this session with a couple of minutes of meditation. Is that okay? We'll sit back and reflect. And remember, what will you remember? Mobile मेरा है, मैं mobile का नहीं. Okay, it is there for me. I am not there for my mobile. Okay? So, sit straight. Have your back well supported. Don't fold your arms. Don't fold your legs. state. You can close your eyes if you feel comfortable that way, and take a deep breath. Breathe deeply and slowly. As you breathe in, observe the muscles of your stomach expand. As you breathe out, observe the muscles of your stomach contract. Breathe slowly and deeply. Let go of any tension in any part of your body and relax yourself. As you relax, gently reflect on the key takeaways from today's session. What are the key points that you learned? Just recall. Think of all the negative impact mobiles and digital gadgets are having on our minds, on our brains, on our body, and on our relationships, and on our kids. Recall brain switching penalty. Think about neuroplasticity, how this wonderful property of the brain can be used for our growth.
I concentrate on my breath.
Gently make a thought. I am the master of my mobile. I am powerful. I can make these positive changes in my life because I am the master of my mobile and I am powerful. I can make these positive changes in my life. Gently rub your palms and wipe your eyes. Gently open your eyes.